Parents of young children are getting more opportunities to enroll them in a public preschool class, all thanks to the Ready Keiki initiative. Our Dylan Ancheta has more on the next steps for the program. Dylan?
Thank you so much. Over the next 2 years, the state will open 50 more public preschool classrooms, increasing early education opportunities for more than 2,700 kids statewide. One of the DOE campuses transforming a class into a space for preschoolers is Kalihi Elementary. The Lieutenant Governor, alongside other dignitaries, were there Tuesday praising the collaborative efforts of state lawmakers and educators to make this a reality.
It goes without saying that every child is so important, and just because there's no preschool by their house or where the parents live, or the parents cannot send their kids to preschool, that shouldn't be a barrier for kids to succeed, and it's our collective responsibility to ensure that every child succeeds.
About 90 pre-K classes are already open across the state. Half of the upcoming 50 will open by August of this year, and the remaining half will open by August of next year. 2 of them, one at Maui's Hanahayan Intermediate and the other at Hauula Elementary, will be Hawaiian language locations. Kapolei will also open their first pre-K class at Barbers Point Elementary.
Each new classroom represents more than just a space. It represents a brighter future for Keiki and a stronger foundation for Hawaii. We are building a system that supports our children.
The state says renovations for each of the class sites averaged between $291,000 and $320,000, a worthwhile investment in education.
The legislature initially committed about $200 million to build many of the classrooms that we see here. This past year, the legislature generously put in another $20 million to build more preschools.
They are also working to recruit more staff, especially educational assistants, to be a part of this program.
Interestingly, we were very focused on teacher shortage last year. And we were pushing really hard on the teacher shortage portion, and it actually turned out to not be the area of need for us specifically last year, and it was actually our educational assistants.
Now, children ages 3 to 4 are eligible to enroll, and we will have more details for interested families posted on our website and mobile news app. Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you very much, Dylan.